Let's talk about BLS International now. The company reported a strong quarterly performance with the margins at a multi-quarter high. Profits jumped 70%. Their visa and consular revenue also witnessed a strong growth. Shikhar Aggarwal, the Joint Managing Director of BLS International Services and the Chairman at BLS E-Services, joins us now. Shikhar, thanks a lot for joining in. You know, in your visa and your consular business, you saw a very good growth. What led to that, and what kind of sustainable growth do you see for the rest of the year?
See, definitely, if you see in the visa and consular business, we grew 35%. And, if you see at the EBITDA level, we grew 70%. Even the margins now has grown to 27% from 21% earlier. So definitely, I think the levels that we've achieved is sustainable. This is the new base of the company. We've been talking about increase in margins from the last few quarters. That has been, there have been a variety of factors for that. Change in partnership model, increase in service fee, new contracts at higher service charges. So definitely, I think those are the factors that have led to increase in margins. And if you talk about increase in revenue, we've had a volume increase as well, 18% volume increase in terms of visa numbers, from new contracts and existing contracts. And I definitely feel these levels are sustainable.
Okay. Hi, Shikhar. Good morning and good to see you. And as always, you've completed the iData acquisition, right? And that was likely to help you in terms of market share, I think, in the European region. Could you tell us what will be the financial impact that we start seeing from Q2 onwards? If you could quantify it with some numbers, because on a quarterly basis, it'll start giving you some numbers.
Yes. So, Nigel, the first quarter numbers definitely do not have iData consolidation. We completed the transaction on 10th of July. Last year, calendar year, iData follows a calendar year. They did a revenue of around 300 crores and an EBITDA of 144 crores. So definitely, I think that could be maintained this year. So on a quarterly basis, I think 25 to 30 crore of EBITDA would probably be added. So I feel that that will start coming in. And as economies of scale come in, we combine both of our offices, in different geographies across the world. We also impart certain knowledge from our operations to them. Cost comes down, revenue increases. We expect increase in revenue and profitability also to come in from iData.
Got it. Okay. All right. The other positive was the margin expansion. Is there any one-off in the overall margin expansion, and can you maintain these sort of margins?
Nigel, if you see last few years, BLS International, the margins have been growing constantly. So last year we reached 21%, which was an uptake of 500-600 basis points from the year before. Now in this first quarter itself, we have reached 700-600 basis point increase in margins. I think a couple of factors that have led to this increase is that we have got increase in service charges from new contracts that we are winning at a higher service charge. Existing client governments, the retenders also at higher service charges. We have also transformed our business model in certain countries where because of local laws, we were operating with local partners and there was a profit sharing. Now we have taken over with the change in laws in those countries, particularly in countries in Middle East like Saudi Arabia, in certain Latin American countries. So that has led to an increase in margins. And I feel definitely this will be sustainable. And our endeavor, as always, will be even to take it further, increase in margins.
Okay. This cash on the books, right? Almost 1,300 crores. Any kind of use for that in this year? Any acquisitions that you're looking at? If yes, what are the geographies? What's the domain? And any timelines?
See, the cash on the books is before the acquisitions were announced. So this was the end of first quarter. I think in July, we've already paid for the acquisitions that we did of iData. And in BLS E-Services also, we've announced the acquisition of ID-List Loan Solution, which is a 200 crore company, where we were acquiring 55%. So certain cash will be utilized in that also. So after that, the cash that will be left and the further cash flow that will be generated in the next 1-2 years will be further used in, we are looking at more acquisitions in the near future, and looking at the growth of the company and reinvesting the money also in further geographical expansion, new contracts that are poised to come, technology, and also dividend to the shareholders.
Okay. All right. Useful. Thank you very much for joining us with that commentary. Appreciate you coming on with all of that. Shikhar, appreciate your time here on CNBC TV18.